I'm Reed Price. I'm the director of the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center, and Susie Burdick is with us today. She's helping to run the online Rotary Auction this year and was involved as well last year. So, of course, now you've become an online auction and rummage sale expert, right, Susie?
My tech skills haven't improved that much. But no, I am very comfortable doing online stuff now.
Great. We are all getting a little better at it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the auction last year, you had less than a month, I think, to try to pull it together. Because go ahead.
It was a couple of months that we, when we made the call that we needed to do it online, and it was safety first. That's the biggest thing, obviously. We didn't want shoppers or donors or anybody else being at risk. And we also didn't want to sit on the sidelines when there was need. So it worked out great for us. We had a goal of 50,000 and we raised 113. And all of that, 100% of that went back to help with COVID in the community.
Yeah, you Rotary had a special emphasis on COVID relief this year, right?
Yep. We gave away a good portion of money and also funded, some help for the nonprofits, as well as getting deeply engaged in the vaccination clinics as volunteers.
Yes, we had some vaccination clinics here at the Senior Center, and many of them were staffed by Rotarians for sure. Thank you very much. So I'm curious about what you've learned from last year that has made a difference in the way you're going to do the online auction and rummage sale, which this is the big week. How you're doing it this year.
It's there's preview on Wednesday, anywhere from 8 in the morning until 9 p.m. And you can go to the website and see everything there. And then the sale starts at 6 a.m. on Thursday and goes to 5 p.m. I think on Saturday. Some of the items are auction, like vehicles and stuff like that, but most of the items are buy now.
Okay, and that proves to be a pretty, I mean, that's the way it is in the real auction too.
That's right. That's right. And it worked. We got an influx of donations last year, and we think partially because everybody was in the pandemic clean my house mode. We just reached the same level of donations for this year, so we're thrilled. And really good stuff.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the categories and the kinds of things that we might look forward to finding when we look on Wednesday?
Can I share screen?
You should be able to, yes.
And so if you can scroll down on that page a little bit, what you'll see is it's got the dates on there, the auction preview, which will go live, excuse me, as I said, on 8 a.m. on Wednesday. You just will hit that button and it will take you right to showing, excuse me, all of the items.
This button right here.
That's right, that will be live and will guide people to the listings and pictures and descriptions of all the items. We have about 1,000 items again this year. And they're really cool. I went online and peeked. There's lots of really nice furniture and outdoor stuff, artwork, dishes, even cool cup collections. There's just lots on there. The favorite that people are saying they want to, the volunteers who've seen it are saying is that they want to bid on the Star Trek or Star Wars phonograph player, record player.
Okay, there you go. That's exactly what I do not need, but somebody else will love it.
I know. That's what we felt like too. So the dates are up here, and like I said, you can hit how to shop up top on that bar, and it will guide you to different ways to go, and it shows you the schedule again, how to navigate the sale and the site, and it's got all the departments. And auction departments in the next one goes into more detail, the next drop down. Yeah, you can see that. So if you pick one, it won't show anything yet because we don't post until
But it will, when I
it
come
will.
back here, I'll see more than just these lists. I'll see actual
Exactly.
pictures.
Exactly. Cars and boats, the next one there is going to be at the Masonic Lodge parking lot again. That worked out great. And excuse me, the difference with that is that people can actually come by appointment to see the cars and boats in person with volunteers there to show them around. And so they can view them online in the preview and then actually show up and look at them during the times when we're scheduled to have volunteers there.
Okay, so if you were interested, the preview time for the cars and boats, you have to make a reservation for by sending Craig an email.
Yeah, you actually can see everything in advance with descriptions and pictures during the preview. But during the sale, there are certain times that volunteers will be at the Masonic Lodge to help show people around so you can see them in person.
Okay, and more information about that will be.
It's on, if you can go back to the online auction, that one.
This one?
No, the
Or
one before
home?
the whole auction thing. Yeah.
This,
And scroll down a bit.
there we go.
There you
In-person
can see
viewing.
exactly.
Great.
So there's some even on preview night when there will be volunteers there. We have Rotarian volunteers. We have Boy Scout troops helping clean the boats and vehicles. And there's always some fun stuff there.
Yeah, so if I wanted to make an appointment, how would I do that?
You can do that actually by, where's the contact button, top right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go. There's an email.
There's an email. And the way that we're working it is Rotary volunteers from the steering committee are working the help desk, which is open 9 to 3 every day. And we answer these emails. We're all signed up in shifts. So we answer these emails when we're on the help desk and help however we can.
So have you been getting some interest this way? Can you tell that people are tuning into this online auction based on
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're getting emails from people. Do you have this? Do you have that? And our answer right now is you'll see on Wednesday. We have
how this works. You have to wait.
That's right. Sorry, I'd love to give you a preview, but
yeah, I was really hoping we could ask you to do that today, but oh well. I guess we'll have to come back on Wednesday.
I think I'd get fired.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Or else run out of town by people who wanted it and couldn't get it.
So do you have a goal for this year, or are you, based on your experience last year, just going to be happy if you match that?
We're going to be happy if we match that. We're hoping to increase sales this year, and we're still working for that. We have the same amount of donations, same number of donations. So, we look at it as every dollar we get, we didn't have, and it all goes back to the community. So we're doing our best to increase that goal from last year.
Great. If anybody has a question they'd like to ask, feel free to open up your microphone, or you can type it in the chat. I'm curious about the way this works is that because in the past, of course, everybody would bring all their stuff to Woodward and it would have to be sorted and organized. And in this case, people are keeping their items, but they're sending in photos and descriptions, right?
Exactly. And we have almost all of our department heads from last year are back this year. Normally in the live auction, which we'll be doing next year, we have 1,500 volunteers putting that thing together. We're doing it with less volunteers right now, obviously, because it's online and there's not schlepping and cleaning and fixing. So, excuse me, instead of the curb, the mighty curb where everything came in last time, it comes in, through that, we finished our donation period.
Yes.
And now the work is being done behind the scenes to get the department heads and their volunteers, get everything, making sure it's got the right information and right pictures in order to go up on Wednesday. So the
Great.
volunteers have been just great.
Yes,
Really,
I guess that you probably have a whole new class of people who are a little more tech savvy than the.
yeah, than me. That's right. We have a pretty outstanding tech team, people who work in tech for a living and have helped us navigate everything that we're doing with this. It's been great.
So, just to repeat, the preview starts on Wednesday. The cars, boats, and other big things like that are at the Masonic Hall, which is across the street from the high school on High
Exactly.
School Road. And you need to make an appointment if you want to get up close and personal with them, but you can do that by contacting the help desk.
Yes.
And
And you can also see them online on
oh, right,
Wednesday.
you'll have pictures of all the stuff online, so you can see whether you want to make an appointment or not. But you will want to make an
You
appointment.
will want to make them. They're pretty cool. People have gotten some pretty amazing deals on vehicles, I gotta say.
Yes, well, I do believe we last week talked with Ralph Monroe, Crystal Springs, and Washington State political fame, and he told us he was donating a vehicle. So
Nice. Thanks, Ralph.
so there you go. And since he's a historical, well, maybe he himself doesn't want to be called a historical figure, but the the Monroes are for sure.
That's it.
Who knows what kind of an interesting vehicle
I
that might
know.
be.
I'm so curious to see.
So are there things that you have learned in the last year and a half, or almost through this year, that you think will change the way that Rotary Auction happens when it restarts next year in person?
There are some online components we want to keep. Just because we've heard from a lot of people who can't get out or have mobility issues, and that is a challenging place for sure when it's filled with thousands of shoppers. So doing the preview online, or a piece of the preview, and doing some of the items online with that kind of exchange between the donor and the buyer, because that had worked really well last year. People said they loved it. We didn't know how it was going to work. But when somebody buys something, we give the donor and the purchaser each other's emails so they can connect, and they go and pick it up at the house, or sometimes people take their stuff to a Safeway parking lot because they don't want to do it at their house. Sometimes they say, pick it up on Tuesday, it's at the bottom of the hill.
And there might be some things that were in storage units that just have never moved out.
Exactly. And I think what's great about this is people say it keeps that neighbor feeling of the auction, meeting other people and hearing the stories about the donations when they pick them up. And that's pretty cool.
Yes, although it is a lot safer than it was a year ago.
Yes.
I applaud you for avoiding the idea of as crowded a place as the Rotary Auction can be quite yet, although more and more we're feeling comfortable getting back together in relatively distance groups. So I'm confident that next year we'll be able to see each other at Woodward.
We are too. And it's funny because that's the part people miss the most. The stuff is great, but they say, I see my old friends and neighbors every year at the Rotary Auction,
Yeah, it's an amazing institution, and it's a great way that Rotary, it's an amazing amount of work, but it certainly is a gift to this community from this community. So thank you very much for that.
And what's great about it from our standpoint too, is it makes us feel collectively like we're making a difference. We all join forces, and through that we can make a big difference.
Yes, and we're all a little bit of a Rotarian for a couple of days there. We may help in volunteering. We may help with program. We may help with the food. We may help with making sure that the stuff that's left over gets put away in some responsible manner. So
Yeah. And it's funny, we've discovered people have a visceral connection to the auction. I, for one, have been going forever. My 35-year-old son's first room came from the auction, his first big boy room, his first dorm room, and on and on. We've furnished our families.
So this year, because you're doing the auction remotely, there won't be a lot of leftovers like we were just talking about. How does that work?
We had nothing that we had to send to recycling. Or number one, we work with a group called the Green Team, who are most active when we're live, obviously, and they help us do everything in a sustainable fashion. And we partner with Bainbridge,
Sustainable Bainbridge, Zero Waste
Sustainable
Bainbridge.
Bainbridge, yeah, all of those groups. And what we found is last year, we didn't have anything to unload. Or
yeah, it was an incredibly green auction.
It was very green.
But you have to balance those things, right? I mean, in a sense, and so this year you'll probably be in the same situation.
I hope so. Yeah. And I have to say, we've had great luck over the years because we partner with Bainbridge Disposal. And Heather, the owner, is a Rotarian, and they really help educate us too, not just provide services, but educate us on the proper way to dispose of stuff.
Great. Well, I want to thank you very much. I expect that there will be many people at the Rotary Auction site. That's BainbridgeRotaryAuction.org at on Wednesday morning, bright and early at 8 to see what's available. Not quite as early as what, on Thursday, when you can start buying at 6. Set your alarm.
I'm glad that we're not live on screen at that 6 a.m. Thank you so much for being part of this.
You're welcome. Thank you. And here's to a very successful Rotary Auction 2021.
Thank you, Reed.